Okay, drawing 9, a Obround to round. Okay, Obround's got one radius. An oval would actually have two radiuses to it. So a lot of people always get the Obround and the ovals mixed up for the shapes. So we got the big round end here. So similar-ish to our last one. The last one was square, but this one here's got the round and the round. So a bit of a difference on this one. So we'll just get to it here and we'll start showing you. So let's double check what we got here. We're going to baseline here, we're going to come up 10, so just the usual on that. We're going to come over 10 here for a vertical line. We only have to draw 1/4 of this, so we do need the height. This will be a true length here down the one side. And we just need the 1/4 here, because everything's on center. So, okay, so we got the 100 here for the height. We got the 35 millimeters for the radius on the big circle. We got 25 millimeters for the little circle there. We had 90, so we have to come back 25. We're just going to draw a little straight line here because we got to divide this up. So into thirds for this one, use that radius. And divide this one up into thirds. This little straight line here is just from down below here. So I'm not going to put a dotted line there. So we're just going to leave this one here because that's what you'd see through the top there. Okay, so this is actually pitched out. It's not straight up and down like the last one. So we're going to have to do a true length for this little side here coming out. So we'll just back to this drawing again, just because this is actually leaning out. So there's the difference there. Okay, so we got diagonals on this one. The true length diagram, I just came over 100, got lots of room here. We're going to put diagonals on one side and straights on the other side, and you'll see this in just a moment. The pattern up over here, I just came off the top here, just line that up, and then I just went 180 over for a vertical line. I've already stepped off my 65 and my 65, because it's a 65 here for that. So we'll get to that in a moment. Now for this one here, let's do some labeling. Now, it's not going to be the same as the true lengths in the other ones. So what we're actually going to have to do is, because we got no square corner, is we need to do a straight, and then diagonally we need to come over to the next one. We'll come straight down, and then diagonally over to the next one. Straight down, and then diagonally over to the next one, and then straight down. So we'll have to step off this distance here for this radius, this distance off for this radius. So think about it like threading up your shoes, lacing up your shoes or something like that. So to find one point, you got to go across, straight down, across, straight down, across, straight down. Really as simple as that. Okay, let's not get too overly confused on the numbering here, but let's go with A, and then we'll do a 1, 2, 3, 4. I think that's all we need. And I don't have a B here. My B would be over here. Then I've got a C, D, and E. Okay? Just don't want to make sure we don't get confused here. So B1 will be a straight, C2 would be a straight, D3 would be a straight, and then E4. Now the diagonals here, I can come diagonally from B to 2, C to 3, and D to 4, or I can come diagonally the other way too, where I can actually E to 3. So depending on how you lay it out. So it doesn't matter which way your diagonals go, it all ends up at the end here. So it depends if you end up at the bottom or end up at the top. It really doesn't matter whatsoever. So let's go ahead and take our straights. B1, C2, D3, and E4. Got my dividers here. Hopefully that wasn't too confusing, but we'll figure it out as we move forward. It'll come quite clear here. Okay, B1 here, so the straights are on the one side. Do I need B1? No, I don't, because we'll be able to find that with this true length, so I don't need that. So wasting time here. So we need C2. Because I don't need to go and find that. I mean, I can use B1 to find that, but I'm going to use A1 instead. It's simpler. Okay, so there's C2. Just saves on my true length diagram, I guess that's all. C2. And it's easier just to measure vertical. No sense coming this way and this way to try to find center, and then you're going to be a little bit off. So it's just easier to put a square line on there. D3. I'm going to get accurate there. I'll mark up for this one. Make it a little higher. 3. Nope, that's a D, isn't it? I don't like those erasers. They just smudge. Sorry about that. C2, D3. Alrighty. Back on track here. And then an E4. Pretty close, a little shorter. Definitely tight over here. E4. Okay, so we're going diagonal here. So we're going to go from B to 2, right? Because B1 would be a straight. B2. You got to think, how accurate is this? Wrapping around a curved shape, measuring straight over. You're absolutely right. How accurate is it? But how else are you going to do it? So we were B2 there. So now we're going to go C3 because the straight would be C2. So C3 is almost, ooh, that is sure close. That is close. Might be a sliver longer, but I'm going to call it the same for what it is. For what my eyes can see. And then D4. Oh, and I did it again down below there, didn't I? That should be a C3. See how I said I can get just a little bit confusing? Change that up there for you. We'll get back on track here. And D4. There we go. Sorry about that. These things happen. Not a perfect world. Okay, and we're going to need that A1 here as well. That's a good thing it's not off center. Okay, A1. Okay, so there's the true length there, so let's go ahead and get A1. There we go, up to our pattern here. Make a mark. This is A. Call this 1. Now we need to step over, don't we? So we need the calculator. So we're going to do 70 times pi. Did this on the last one. Do 20 divided by 12. 3, and then we're going to have the 50 times pi. We've done this before. 157 12, 13, 09, I guess. That's what we'll call that. Hopefully I don't go too far over. Anyway, that should be fine with my math there. Okay, so we need to step over. This is one where I almost need 3 dividers. So for this one here, we'll do the top there at 18. So I got a little bit of changing back and forth here. Mine's already set from the last one. So I'm going to go ahead and do this one first. And then we got to go 13. So a bit of a bummer here. Yeah, we're having to move our dividers quite often. Okay. Let's move this out of the way here. So we've got our A1 here. Which way are we going here? A, B. So our B's over here. Did we get a B1? I guess we do have to come down, don't we, before coming back over to B2. I lied. Oh well, these things happen. I'll go ahead and we can do that. That's a straight there. See what I mean? You don't have to memorize every step. It's like you can't do one thing without another. So even if you do forget something, that's okay. Oh, I'm going B2 up here. What am I thinking? Coming back down here. I guess I got ahead of myself, didn't I? B2. Oh, lordy. Gee, this is not a good one. B2. We're going up. You know why? It's because I didn't mark this. See that? See what happens when you don't lay them out? Your B2 is your diagonal here. See, double check. B2. There we go. There it is there. Mark it as soon as you've done it. So there's a 2. There's a 2. Now, where is the only place you can go? Well, you're going to have to come down to C. So 2C is a straight. C2. Make my dividers a little bit longer. And there we go. Right there. I'll call this C. And then we're going to have to, this should already be set to 13. We'll step off over here off the C. You can kind of see where your pattern's going now when it comes to shape. I'm at the top there. And whether you want to use your ruler or just go like that there. Whatever's preset. Up here I can feel my dividers fit into the hole. Okay, so now we're trying to find C, right? So C3. That should be a diagonal. That's over here with diagonals. And we're C, and we're coming up. There we go, C, coming up. Let's mark that. There we go. Now we're coming back down. So 3 down to D. That's straight. D3. That's the one where I smudged out the eraser. 3 down to D. A, B, C, D. Now we're going to have to do the stepping out here again. So mine's already set on the top, so I may as well do that. This will be the last one here. And we'll talk about the checking with the radius again. Won't be able to do it with this one, but we would have been able to do it with the last one. When you can do that radial check, then you may as well. It's always nice to be able to double check something. Waste a lot of time at work by having a wrong dimension. Okay, so we're D here. So can we get over to 4? Yes, we can over here. That way. I'm right-handed, so that's why I spin the dividers around that way. There's 4, and there's D, there's 4, there's 4, and then we're just coming down from 4 to E. So here it is here, E4. Pretty close to the same length. And then 4. So just see how we kind of lace that up. We went up and down, diagonal, down, diagonal, down. This is E. Okay. I guess that's the hard part in all of this, is the diagonals up and down. So you can do this with any circle on circle in any configuration. It's just that diagonal up and down, up and down. It's going to work on a cone too, like radial line. This would work as well. But why would you? Because radial line is so much faster. It's kind of like trigonometry. Why would you do trigonometry when you can do Pythagoras? They say keep it simple. I'm not sure if one is a little bit higher and it kind of dips. A bit of a funny shape there. Looks pretty flat. I think in my pattern the C is actually lower than that line. But again, it's really obviously difficult to be perfect here with the, well, and you should be able to be perfect with your pencil and your ruler. There's no reason why you shouldn't be able to. Sharpen everything up so it's sharp. Okay, how are you going to bend this? Bend lines. Again, this would be dictated from the smaller end. Will dictate your bend lines because you got to use a V block. Right, so you're dividing out your spaces. So it's always dictated from your smaller end. Kind of like when we bent up the cones, right? When you bend up a cone, the same thing, and these are all going to be the same degree. All the way through. We don't offset the press brake. So it bends more on one side than the other side. We don't do that. Same degree, it's just that they're spaced further apart. Simple as that. There's not more bends on one side than the other. Okay, let's go ahead and put Put your name on here. Oh, maybe we should talk about this first. If we brought this up to a common point, is that going to be a radius? Good question. I'd have to check. I, for some reason, don't think so, but it could, because as long as it comes to a common point, it should work. So we can always double check that too by coming up. You can go ahead if you like to do that, but the last one we could have done that. Last one I snaked in. Even this one I snaked in. So sometimes we surprise ourselves on, it looks pretty round. So it's a common point at the top. It'd be different if these were off, but they line up and they're on center, so it should be a radius. And trying to get a common point for these bottom ones. So again, playing around with it for sure. Lots of different ways to do something. And your date there. Going through my sheet. This was a Obround. Round. We got drawing 9. And let's, this would be a half pattern. Yeah, be hard to fit it in here. Run out of room. 1 of 2. Fit it in there. Let's get a center line here. Let's put some bends on here. So this shares, right? So that would have to be a half bend there. So we got 3 spaces. This would be the same up here, right? So you know, we're 6, 12, right? Kind of do the math here. So again, you're 360 divided by 12, you're 30. Just remember, this is kind of a bend line as well, right? So this would be 30 degrees here. So these would be, you know, this would be 30, 30, 30, 30, right? So this would be 30, 30, this would be 15. Like I said, that one would be 30. And again, you can spend a little bit more time making yours a little neater than this one. Just trying to get through this one kind of quick. Oh, look, nice. I don't need any tabs on this one, so that's the bonus about this one. A little burn line here. A little burn line here. And here. Make sure it's nice and neat and tidy, and then check it with the pattern. Like I said, I think the pattern just dips down a little bit here, so it's pretty flat. So mine comes up a little quick, so see how yours turns out. It's gonna be pretty close though, within a line. So okay, I think that's pretty good. Drawing 9. Okay, good luck.